Right, here we are. Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is the match reaction from Republic of Ireland's 2-1 defeat to Armenia. I've done no research. I'm just coming straight on after I watched a little bit of the post-match interviews with Nathan Collins and with Hamer Hallgrimsson. And I'm just here basically to talk about the match. But as low as I've been since covering this channel, probably since the Denmark game, you know, it's just you get your hopes up and you don't know why. And yeah, sorry, I'm just so deflated after that. I'm sure you guys all are as well. When you think that we're gonna show up, the manager's constantly talking about how we're going to qualify for the World Cup. I mean, look, I'll go from the start and we'll work through it. And if there's anything, you can put it in the comments there, because the comments will come up on screen there on YouTube. So feel free to come in. But if you're saying anything stupid, or if you're saying something slagging people or whatever, just go away, because you'll be blocked. But yeah, let's get into it. The lineup, I mean, it wasn't far off the lineup that I picked for the starting 11 show. So I think he went with Jason Knight was the only player that I hadn't, that he had in there. So he wanted to pack the midfield. Mikey Johnston was the one I was kind of saying who should probably start, just because he'd be one of them players who opened up the opposition. But look, he wasn't great today, was he? Let's be honest as well when he came on. But yeah, look, I got the why he went with that team initially. It made sense, but that team did not put out what we were looking for. From an Irish point of view, I can't believe what I saw. Saw a team that have been playing together for a long time now. In the last couple of games, look like they've never played with each other at all in their lives. A lot of them would have grown up playing with each other in the underage setups and stuff like that. And I get that they don't play with each other every single week like they would at their clubs. But for me, in the first half, like, we got 2 shots off within the first 15 minutes. We started the game well, better than what we did against Hungary. But then ultimately, they just started getting a hold on things. They had that chance where Dara O'Shea slips and their striker forces Kelleher to be big and be, brave there, which he was. And I thought that he kept us in the game. He definitely kept us in the game from different points. And yeah, when you're looking at that and you go, sorry, it's just uploading something there. When you look at how much Kelleher kept the game respectable against an Armenian side who lost 5-0 on Saturday to Portugal, who should be coming in to this game with, deflated after a poor result against the Portuguese. I know Portugal are unbelievable, don't get it wrong, and I'm not looking forward to playing them ourselves. But the fact of the matter is, we can't, like, our go-to plan is to get our tallest player on the pitch and get him to go and take our throw-ins, to try and launch a long ball into Dara O'Shea, who's not as tall even as Nathan Collins, to try and win a header. I just can't get my head around how that works. Like, clearly get someone else instead of Jake taking the throw-ins. Get Jake to be the one on the end of it. And it's not Jake's fault. He's just doing what the manager's told. But that was our tactic against Hungary the other night. It didn't work. It definitely didn't work again tonight. So why do we keep persisting on doing it? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It actually just annoys me so much how much you get your hopes up, hoping that this team can just turn up like they did against Scotland that one time in the last number of years. That one time where they've shown up against a team that were slightly better than, they were a lot better than us. Let's be honest. Scotland, they have a lot better players than us playing at a higher level and putting in consistent performances at top level. We don't. Like, maybe Evan Ferguson this season, and again, he wasn't bad tonight. Took his goal really well. But look, we go in half time 1-0 down. The penalty, I thought the penalty was soft in my opinion, but it was a penalty and they gave it, and we go in. Worst time to concede, but we go in 1-0 down. The shot off the crossbar was the warning sign there, so we should have known that something like this was coming. So yeah, it's hard when, like for me, look, it's hard for all fans. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it poor me or anything like that. But when you're trying to make content for this sort of stuff and you're trying to back the lads and then you're trying to be positive and stuff like that, and then they see you as not being positive, and then they don't want to talk to you, and it's hard because you're trying to like back them and say like get behind these players, and Hamer's saying get behind these players, and then they put in a performance like that. It was one of the all-time worst performances from an Irish team ever. And I know you're probably comparing that to some of the great teams that we had in the past, and I am. But at the same time, they lost 5-0 on Saturday. 5-0. And they ran us ragged. Like 2-1 did not flatter them. Like they could have won 4 or 5-1 in that game. And that's no stretch of the imagination. Anyone would agree. We could have lost. And it's absolutely abysmal. I mean, there was 3 players on the pitch tonight that I could say were probably in somewhat way good, or can say that they weren't really at fault. And Jake O'Brien was superb from a defensive point of view. Thought he won all his duels and he was trying to do the right things and he was positive. I thought Evan Ferguson was positive when he got the ball, which he hardly ever did. But look, we gave him one chance in the box. He scored it and it was a great goal. Adam Eade done well for that when he came on as well. And then Caoimhín Kelleher in goal, again, our best player of the match 2 games in a row in the first 2 games of the World Cup. You know what I mean? So like it's so hard to try be positive when you're constantly trying to bang the drum for this team, and then they go and they do stuff like this. Armenia were brilliant. They were well worth their win. Nothing against them. Absolutely well worth their win. And I've nothing but credit to give to them. From our point of view, it is one of the worst losses ever. Half time, 1-0. The worry was on. Then as the game progressed into the second half, Casey McAteer came on, Adam Eade came on. Thought we were trying to be more positive, but then we lost the run of ourselves in the counter-attacking side of things, and they got the goal. Ranos with the goal when they ran us ragged. You can use that in the papers tomorrow if any journalists are watching. You're welcome. But I do think that it was a shambles. There's no getting away from it. I love supporting Ireland. I've seen us have some of the best players in the world at certain stages. We are a million miles off it, and I think it's going to get worse before it ever gets better. And that's so hard to comprehend, and it's so annoying. I genuinely thought we had a chance of going to this World Cup. Now we have to win all our games. You know what I mean? We literally have to watch them. Watch us win the rest of our games, and we're not going to do that. So we are effectively out of the World Cup qualifiers after 2 games, and we haven't even faced the best team in the group, and we have to go away to Portugal and play them. Now look, if we went and a miracle happened and we beat Portugal away, obviously optimism is going to change and stuff like that, but we still have such a mountain to climb. I actually think it's impossible that we're going to do it, if I'm being totally honest. And I like to think that we have a good community here and we don't bullshit with you guys, but I do think it's over and done with. I mean, they obviously get their goal with Ranos, and we're all thinking like shell shocked here. How are some of these players who are Premier League regulars like Nathan Collins getting run ragged? It was so, Adar O'Shea looked a shell of himself when after the second goal went in. We got back into it. Look, with Evan Ferguson, he had a great finish. Josh Cullen or Jason, I can't remember, one of them, they looked like they kind of dummied the ball, but they didn't really mean to. Luckily, it fell to the one man that you would want it to fall to in that position, and that's Evan Ferguson, and he buried it. I actually probably think that the finish by Evan Ferguson was an underrated finish. If you see the way he hits that ball into the ground, if he probably rolls that, the keeper may have saved it, but the way he hits it, brilliant. And look, again, he's 7 goals in 21 games, and a lot of them games he's been in poor form at club level, and he still managed to come in and score goals. So I think the one positive, and there's not many, to take out of this is that we still have a goal scorer who scores goals for us and can score something out of nothing, and he'll take confidence from that. Other than that, there's nothing good to take away from this. I don't think I'm being Mr. Positive, which I normally try to be positive, as you guys all know. I do always try to be as positive as I can. I'm looking at the comments there. Stephen Dillon says he's broken after that. I'm absolutely... Look, you can probably tell by my demeanour. I've no energy after that. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to feel. I don't know where we go from here. It's so difficult when you're trying to put your heart and soul into content like this, and you get like, it's so hard to put into words. And then look, and they get that third goal when it went in. We were a shambles. They cut us open. We were blessed that VAR kept us in the game at that stage, but we never looked like we'd get a goal. He brought on the other subs. He brought on Johnson. He brought on Phillips. He brought on Scales for Manning. We just couldn't do anything. We just couldn't do anything, and it was abysmal. I worry about where Irish football is, the state of where we are after that, because that was our big chance tonight. And if we can't beat Armenia, and if we were made look like schoolboys against Armenia, what hope have we got? And I'm not sitting here because I'm not sitting here to try and be mad negative, or try and scaremonger people and saying that we're going to be worse before we get better. But there is no way of glossing this up. You listen to every pundit on the TV there. It was embarrassing. One of the worst results we've ever had. It's up there with the Macedonia game. It's up there with the Luxembourg game a few years ago. It is as bad as it's been. I mean, the red card the other night against Hungary probably papers over the cracks, I would say. But it's really, really difficult to put into words. And we're trying to attract players like Kieran Dewsbury Hall at Everton, who I'm an Everton fan, and I think he's been a brilliant addition to Everton. But when we can't string passes together or anything like that, how's he going to want to come and play? We can't sell that as attractive or anything like that. Like, we just don't look like a good footballing team in any way, shape or form. And it's an embarrassment, really, isn't it? Like, look, I'm completely deflated. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know. We are out. Like, you can probably tell I'm just down and out. Like, I'm sure many of you guys are. I can see all your comments coming in there. Realistically, we can't be negative. There's nothing positive to take from that at all. Ushin MCFC says, yeah, I'm just saying that the fact is that we have a goal scorer in Evan Ferguson, who we know that will score goals no matter what, even when he's going through bad patches. But yeah, it's as low as I've been covering the channel. It is hard for me to sum it up into words. Yeah, there's not even point in going mad, because going mad's not going to fix anything, is it? So yeah, I mean, we don't have ball playing players, but if I was Hamar Hallgrimsson or whoever the new manager is going to be when he inevitably gets relieved of his duties after this, whether it's Damien Duff or whether it's Stephen Bradley or whether it's Roy Keane with Damien Duff or whoever it is, they should be doing everything they can to get Kieran Dewsbury Hall, because that's what Ireland are lacking. They're lacking a game intelligent midfielder who can get on the ball, who could see passes, and who can do the basics in midfield and carry us forward, do little bits like that. That's just my opinion. Whether he comes or not, probably not. But yeah. Well, I was just being totally optimistic. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Come on. Yeah, I know, lads. Look, I'm as disappointed as every single one of you is in the chat, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna do the final word tomorrow, so make sure you check out that. And if you have anything to add to it, let us know. But there's nothing more I can really say on this. Yeah, it's as bad as it's been. But thanks for getting involved. Thanks for all the support and all of that. But we'll have more content coming tomorrow. Don't forget to like.